big brawl last night. First Township of Thornton meeting where they've got the new trustee, Stephanie Wiederman, and Kamal Woods gets up during the public comment. I mean, not Kamal Woods. Jedediah Brown gets up during the public comment section, says some really nasty stuff about Tiffany Henyard, and then at the end says a comment that was just basically a throwdown. So then Kamal Woods, gets into it. Tiffany Henyard gets into it. Barroom brawl clears the room. Let's watch it. Here we go.
Next person is Jedediah.
We know how this is going to go. Not good.
All right, so, man, there's so much. I didn't want to say nothing, but I really didn't like how you disrespected the newly elected trustee. But what I want to say is clear that you got questionable spending habits. You got a failed business venture. Your restaurant was deemed nasty. And it's proven while you talking about her education, we can't even verify yours.
All right. Making disparaging comments towards Tiffany Henyard, talking about Tiffany Henyard's lack of education, said she graduated from college. Lori Lightfoot, former mayor of Chicago, was not able in her most recent report to confirm that Tiffany Henyard did indeed graduate from college or went to college.
Since you sold for women, I really already knew about the way you handled Fania. But for you to sit up here and disparage that woman after giving her that fake ass congratulations in the beginning because you thought you was gonna get what you wanted, here's the thing. I want to educate you. Stephanie Wiederman is a 20-year employee, and ain't none of her business ventures ever failed. On top of that, she serves as a chief of staff, and she didn't fuck her way to the top.
Oh, shots fired. F your way to the top. Not good. Not good. It's what he said. And I think it was that comment. That comment, I believe, Kamal Woods, that probably turned that switch, right? Well, let's be honest. Tiffany Henyard, she gave Kamal Woods, her current boyfriend, his job. She's not sleeping her way to the top. She's dealing out political influence. So what Jedediah Brown is doing here is he is inciting, and it worked because we're talking about it, I'm recording it, and you're watching it.
She's efficient in budgets and don't hide her deeds. She is efficient in organization. She served as a temporary interim executive director for the Dalton Park District until she stepped aside to help her daughter become something you'll never be, which is a married woman.
Taking a shot at the fact Tiffany Henyard is dating a married dude. I mean, that's fair game.
And her daughter moved away to Texas, and when her daughter moved away to Texas, she went to help her daughter. But I done heard about 4 or 5 people tell me how they had to take care of yours. And so now you've been a half-ass mayor. But if you wanted to get up here and earn some respect, then you should have been able to respond to Lori Lightfoot's report about credit cards. You want to talk about them not coming to work, but we've been hearing about what you've been doing while you've been at work. And I'm going to give away the rest of my time because I think on behalf of the Black Cookout Association that we would rather take a vote that we're going to exchange your black ass for Stephanie to be the new member of Congress. So all those in favor say, all those against it say nay, all those in favor say aye. You gone, bitch.
Ooh, there it is. There it is. That you gone, biatch. That was the comment. That pushed things over the top. Okay. There we go. Boom. Boom. Good Lord. Look at this poor white woman in the middle. It's like, ah. That's what I'd be doing. Get me out of here. I don't want to get hurt. Look at Reality Check TV Chicago. I mean, there goes Andrew Holmes, right? Yeah. I mean, he's having to move his camera. He's like getting out of the way of the crowd surge. All right. All right. Okay, so the next 10 minutes include just a horrific amount of N-bombs. I can't go there, and I'm not going to show that. So we go from that. Now, what I would say here is that I'm going to let Melanie Youngsma state. I'm going to let her kind of give a reasonable approach to all this. All right. She is not looking happy, looking really disappointed, and rightfully so. This puts the Township of Thornton in the spotlight, but not for all the right reasons. And there's a lot of good things that have happened. You got a new trustee in there. This is the first meeting. You got some business done. I mean, I don't know if you squared away insurance or not, because I haven't gotten to all the details. But hey, you had a meeting, you had a quorum, you had people show up, and then it went sideways with that public comment. So, but let's let Melanie explain.
Hello, everyone. I am Melanie Youngsma, publisher of the Lansing Journal. I'm recording this on January 28, the night of the first Thornton Township meeting that included newly elected trustee Stephanie Wiedemann. That meeting is all over the internet already because of what happened at the end. I'm hoping in some small way to remind people of all the good that was accomplished before that.
Yep.
If you haven't heard already, the meeting ended.
But unfortunately, Jerry Springer style gets more views, right? Nobody wants to hear about the good because then it's just, that's business as usual. That's just government operating it as it should. We want to see the blood in the water, dirty laundry. We want to see all that stuff. So it's really unfortunate this happened, but I think it was kind of inevitable given that this is building up to a crescendo. And I'm talking about the whole scenario with Tiffany Henyard and her folks.
In a brawl, a fight intentionally instigated by someone who doesn't live here, someone whose goal was to provoke a reaction and create a sensation.
Talking about Jedediah.
The brawl is what people are talking about now, not the meeting.
Yep.
Not the business that was conducted, not how professionally our trustees handled themselves.
Remember, the trustees took it right in the behind because they basically were not able to go to meetings because Tiffany Henyard had a window to put a fill-in for Jerry Jones, who stepped down as trustee. She would have been able to put her own person in there, and then instead of having the township vote on it, and the township voted very recently, and I don't know if you saw in the original footage we looked at, the white lady at the far right, that's Stephanie, the new member of Township of Thornton trustees, and that's what we're talking about. But this is all coming to a head because you got Mayor Lori Lightfoot's report just came out. You've got a shift in power, and you've got some good things going on. Jedediah Brown took advantage of all that because there's a lot of pressure on this scenario.
Our community has so much to be proud of, and it's disappointing that we have to keep proving ourselves in the face of such immaturity. We have to keep rising above. And we do. And we will. I considered ending this video before the point where the brawl starts because the real story is everything that happened before that. That's who we are. But I did leave it in. And I'm hoping that those of you who watch it or who have watched it will see it for what it is. It's not us.
I saw that this morning. I woke up and I had no idea this was going on. I had a pretty normal evening last night, and I kind of disengage from social media at points because I read a lot of news stories, and after a while, your head just gets to this spot where you're like, oh, what are we even talking about? See if you guys can read that. So we're just going to go through a handful of these and see what social media is having to say about all this. All right. How about this one? Let's go. trying to get it lined up for you guys. Video shows Tiffany Henyard involved in Brawl at Thornton Township. Let's watch this video. And we're not doing any edits on this. We're just doing this raw. We're raw dogging this.
Tiffany Henyard and her attorney for comment about what happened at last night's Thornton Township meeting. We're still waiting to hear back from them. But guess who is talking this morning is Jedediah Brown. Now, Jedediah Brown says although he doesn't live in the Chicago area anymore, he continues to advocate for residents and would not have been at last night's meeting had he not been asked to be there. This morning, he's also taking issue with being characterized as the one who started the violence, saying he just responded and defended himself.
Boom.
Now this morning, Jedediah
And then Tiffany Henyard comes running in. So Tiffany Henyard just starts going in, just starts slapping, throwing punches, loses her wig, her hair, whatever it is, loses a shoe. I mean, she's right in the middle of this brawl.
It appears fists began to fly after Brown, an outspoken critic of Township Supervisor Tiffany Henyard, called her an expletive during Thornton Township meeting last night.
Wow. They are going.
Back to my seat, and then Kamal made his expletive of threats and comments. I went back, and then they started a fight.
Yeah, but you instigated it, and he knows it, and that is his MO, right? This is how he operates. Get everybody all worked up, get everybody all riled up, and then go, it wasn't me, it was them. I just responded to the violence. Yeah, but you incited it. That's what activists do, right? We all know it.
Brown says it was as he turned to walk back to his seat and not toward Henyard that the township supervisor's boyfriend confronted him. That's when Brown's friend, Lavelle Redmond, a former Dalton worker who says he was fired by Henyard and is now homeless, says he was just protecting his friend.
He was closing in and he turned around and said, "Who are you talking to?" And I pushed him back.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, look at him just pick him up. Cop.
By security. The meeting was the first where the vacancy on the board was filled, allowing the board to finally approve the township's tax levy ordinance.
There's Stephanie Wiedemann.
Ending the shutdown. Now, we did reach out to South Howland Police Department. They said there were no arrests made. Again, we've also reached out to Tiffany Henyard and her attorney and are still waiting to hear back about what they have to say about last night's meeting.
How about Tiffany Henyard's attorney? The white dude that sits up there and he's just like, I was watching Nate, the lawyer this morning, and he was talking about the zombie lawyer. That's exactly what it is, right? How about this one? Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard involved. Let's go here. Involved in board meeting brawl between boyfriend and activist. Let's take a look at this one. This is Fox News. We're not going to watch another video, even though we've got a million of those. You guys have probably all seen the videos. I mean, it's not shocking, right? This is why we come to this story. Tiffany Henyard, the scandal-plagued mayor of Dalton, Illinois, was seen on video jumping into a chaotic brawl that broke out between boyfriend, called her a biatch during a heated board meeting. Fight happened during Thornton. Brown referenced the findings of Thornton Mayor Lori Lightfoot. There goes a bunch of comments. You gone at the end of that. Now, none of this was necessary. And what I would say is to the folks who invited Jedediah Brown, you know what you're going to get. This is the guy that, jumped up on the stage during a Trump rally? I mean, back in 2017? This guy is known to, he does what he does. He incites people, he gets people worked up, and then he blames everybody else when the S hits the fan, right? The room quickly devolved into chaos as bystander video showed Henyard's boyfriend, Kamal Woods, and Brown throwing punches at one another in the back of the room. Others joined the fight. Tiffany Henyard joined the fight. She literally pushed. Who else do I have here? She literally pushed the table out of the way. Who was that? I think it was Reality Check TV. Pushed the table out of the way and ran back to where the fight was happening towards the room. She just shoved like a Costco table and just goes running in there and just totally gets involved. Video shows Henyard, who had been seated behind a table at the front of the room, listening to the remarks, running over to join the melee in the back. Police officers soon arrived at the scene. Why weren't they already there? Why weren't cops already there? Aren't they always there at Dalton? I think so, right? So Never seen a politician jump in and fight like that. It was scary and horrible. It's an embarrassment, said one witness. Okay. Yeah, but I mean, I find it highly hypocritical that we're sitting here watching this and we're tuned into this fight because we want to see the fight. Hey, what happened? Well, there's all this friction going on, and eventually it comes to literally a boxing match, and it involved Tiffany Henyard's boyfriend, and some mean stuff was said about her. She said she was, she slept her way to the top, which I don't really care. You know what I mean? Because we're talking about this incident. But if I was in Tiffany Henyard's position, yeah, I mean, you push back a little bit, right? Otherwise, you're viewed as weak. So Kamal doing what he did, Tiffany doing what she did. I mean, it all makes sense. It's unfortunate that it happened, but it all makes sense. And it's unfortunately, this is what we're all tuning in for when this kind of stuff goes down, which is horrible because what we should be focusing on, and I'm just as guilty. I'm doing just as much clickbait as anybody here because this is what you guys want to see. But my message would be the Township of Thornton. The people of the Township of Thornton have been impacted just as well as the people of the village of Dalton have been impacted. Those chapters are going to close here very soon. And hopefully it doesn't involve much more of this. I think this is kind of one of those deals where things really went down that crazy train road of, I wonder how this will go. And it didn't go well. No arrests were made because it's like a ref in soccer handing out a couple of red cards and telling people, hey, you got to go, right? Or being tossed from a basketball game, a football game. You're out of here. You're gone. Because you can't blame, two people that go at it, that want to go at it and other people join in. All right, you get hit. It's a brawl. You get hit. Okay. That's kind of just how it went, right? It should have never come to blows and Tiffany should have never got involved. Yeah, this was over her. My first thought was, are they beefing over a girl? Is that what we're doing? Are we beefing over a girl? Is this like 5th grade? And you got some pre-adolescent kids that are like, your girlfriend's ugly. Are we doing that kind of thing? It almost feels like that, right? She jumped in, she hit her head on the table, so I don't know. She might be injured. Hit her head on the table, messed up her hair thing. It was one thing when the guys were fighting, but when she jumped in it, I was taken aback. But again, this is why we tune in. The super mayor is ready to throw down, and she did. I mean, this is what we come to watch, and then we're like, oh, I can't believe that happened. I am in shock. This is terrible. What did you think would happen? This is where we're at, right? This is where we're at. I was taken aback. I was floored, a third witness told WLS TV. It's unclear from the video whether Henyard was actively participating in the fight or trying to break it up. Well, when you're throwing punches and you're throwing slaps, that's not exactly running out of the room trying to let the situation dissipate. She pushed that table. She ran towards where the action was because she was going to support her man. That's as simple as that. She was throwing down with her man. Judge her for that. Whatever. You want to do that? Hey, you're the mayor. You're the supervisor. You shouldn't be involved in fights. But given everything else that, Lori Lightfoot just outlined in her big report, this is not out of character for what you guys, elected in the township or the village of Dalton and then basically put in place in Township of Thornton. And that's what we're fighting against. In the face of endless false accusations and outright lies about Mayor Henyard that are being trafficked on social media by her political enemies, it's unsurprising that violence erupted. Henyard's attorney, Bo B. Brindley, said in a statement obtained by Fox News, in the social media age, unchecked falsehoods lead to misplaced tension and aggression. This episode shows that the campaign of false information about the mayor puts her and others in danger. You've got a volatile situation. We all know it. That's why we tune in. Something might happen. Jerry Springer might walk up and go, did you sleep with them? You know what I mean? Before it turned violent, the meeting had already grown tense as the board voted to place Woods and another man, William Moore, on leave without pay and hire auditors to investigate their management of the township's at-risk youth program. This is a critical component because I think Tiffany Henyard is really feeling the impact here. So the board basically has taken the recommendations of Lori Lightfoot, who was very critical of Tiffany Henyard giving a job to Kamal Woods, her boyfriend, who is married, and another man, William Moore, put them on leave without pay because they said that Tiffany Henyard and co. did not vet these individuals. And Lightfoot in her report said there is nothing in the background of Kamal Woods or a couple of other people that she appointed that warrants their position and their pay, meaning she gave an insider, and I think she gave a family member a job as well, something along those lines. So you've got that happening in the meeting, right? So that's a direct pop right at Tiffany Henyard in her power position. And then you accuse her of sleeping her way to the top. You accuse her of being a bad mom. And then you say you're done with the B word at the end. I mean, if you back down from that, then that's on you, right? I mean, whether that's good or bad or the right or the wrong thing to do, everybody wants to say, well, just turn the other cheek. That's not how reality goes. This is a throwdown. This is shots fired figuratively. I mean, figuratively. Thank God there weren't guns here, right? Because, you would have had just a bunch of people get taken out. So be very thankful this was just a fist fight. Yeah. Before it turned violent, the meeting had already grown tense as the board voted to place Woods. Okay, we already read that. Sorry. Henyard claimed there was voter suppression, but lost her bid. Yeah, let's back up there for a second. So Tiffany Henyard in Township, she doesn't have the ability to be on the ballot. She's going to have to be a write-in. It's very clear that she is going to lose her role in Village of Dalton. She is still under investigation by the FBI. But I think the FBI would have done something at this point in time. They would have indicted her. They would have arrested her if they were going to. Because in other examples, I talked repeatedly about the mayor of Oakland, Xiao Tang, whatever her name is. I can't remember right now. But she got investigated for not the same stuff that Tiffany Henyard has done, but real corruption involving her boyfriend's family. The whole thing just goes on. And the FBI said, nope, you've crossed the line. Boop. Yeah, you're arrested and you're indicted. Whereas Tiffany Henyard, they're still kind of working on what's going on. And I think what's going to happen is they'll let the clock run out. Meaning Tiffany Henyard won't get reelected as supervisor. She won't get reelected as mayor. There's probably not enough evidence. There's not enough forensic evidence now, accounting standards wise, to throw her in jail, to actually press charges against her. And some of that has to do with the fact you don't have any audited reports. And you're going to need to take some time to get some audited reports going, not only in Township Thornton, but mainly in the Village of Dalton. And in Lori Lightfoot's report, she indicated, hey, we're just checking out the Village of Dalton here. But it's come to their attention, Lori Lightfoot's investigative team, that the same kind of behavior, the same kind of mismanagement Henyard did in Dalton is also happening in Thornton. So that's why they're talking about doing some forensic deep dives in the Township of Thornton to see where their money went. A lot of good things happening, but then there's also just this kind of absolute ridiculousness. Let's skip on and go to this one. Thornton Township's first meeting with new trustee devolves into brawl. Yeah, that's exactly what happened, right? I mean, it was just absolutely wild. The violence came about 6 months after Brown was arrested for providing public comment at an adult meeting. If you guys have been following this story, I think he was arrested trying to go after Andrew Holmes, right? So Jedediah Brown has hopped on this narrative of the young lady accusing Andrew Holmes of sexually assaulting her in a Las Vegas trip that Tiffany Henyard basically sponsored, and they went to Vegas twice, but no business came out of it. no business. Economic development did not come out of it. It was a shopping mall development conference they were going to in Vegas. And, you got these legal issues, but the city of Nevada Police Department decided not to file charges. And then on top of that, nobody from the young lady who's making the accusations against Andrew Holmes, they didn't participate in the Lori Lightfoot investigation, and nobody from Andrew Holmes' side investigated. The mayor didn't help. Nobody gave any information whatsoever. Lori Lightfoot's like, hey, the cops didn't press charges. We don't really know what happened. Nobody was willing to help out. That's another point I think that people need to recognize, is that although Lori Lightfoot has put all this information out there, she didn't have subpoena power, and she readily admits that. She also doesn't have the ability to do anything about anything she came up with, because she's just an investigator. So we're literally waiting on the FBI to kind of do their thing. But again, I think the clock gets run out, and the FBI just kind of says, you know what, we checked into it and we don't have enough to press charges against the mayor. Therefore, we're just going to let this one die, and people are going to, this is a terrible injustice. But I've been saying for a while, I don't think there's enough meat on the bones here as far as criminal activity to stick it to Tiffany Henyard in the form of charges for criminal activity. I don't think there's enough there. I think she's got enough wiggle room. That's just my opinion, and that's what you pay me for. All right. Thanks for being here. I appreciate everybody tuning in. And this is an interesting one, because this is exactly how we thought this would go down. And then when it does, people are shocked and like, oh, the outrage, the outrage. But no, that shouldn't be the outrage. The outrage is that you're here in the first place, right? The outrage is that you're here in the first place. But Township of Thornton and Village of Dalton, the constituents, I think, are doing what they need to do to get back on track. So we'll keep reporting on that, and we will watch this crazy train wreck of an administration, two administrations. We'll just have to see how it ends. So make sure you're subscribed, hit that like button, hit that notification bell, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for being here. Bye for now.